In the heart of Ukraine lies a place frozen in time, a place that has become a haunting symbol of disaster, mystery and forbidden exploration, Chernobyl. On April 26, 1986, at exactly 1:23 a.m., the unimaginable happened. Reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, releasing more radiation than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. The blast shook the earth, the fire lit up the night sky, and the invisible poison of radiation began to spread silently across Europe. The nearby city of Pripyat was more than just a place to live, it was a Soviet dream made manifest. An Atomgrad, a nuclear city, built for the brilliant minds and dedicated workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Home to over 50,000 people, it was a symbol of progress, with modern amenities and a youthful population full of hope. But in the early hours of April 26, 1986, that dream turned into a nightmare. Within 36 hours, a chilling announcement echoed through the streets. A temporary evacuation for just 3 days, they were told. Pack only what is necessary. Believing they would soon return, families left their homes in minutes. They left photographs on the walls, food on their tables, and pets waiting by the door. Children abandoned their toys. Classrooms were deserted, with books still lying open on desks, homework unfinished. The 3 days turned into forever, transforming this thriving community into a ghost city, a permanent, silent testament to a life interrupted. Nowhere is this stolen future more poignant than in the city's amusement park. Set to open for the first time just 5 days later for the May Day celebrations, its Ferris wheel never carried a single passenger. It now stands as a lonely, decaying monument to a joy that never was. But what truly happened that night inside Reactor 4? The official Soviet narrative was swift and decisive, a catastrophic failure of human judgment. They blamed the plant's operators for gross violations of safety regulations during a reckless late-night safety test. This story of human error was convenient, placing the fault on a few individuals rather than the state itself. Yet as years passed and secrets began to bleed through the cracks of the Iron Curtain, a more complex and disturbing truth emerged. Many researchers and nuclear physicists now point to a fatal design flaw in the RBMK reactor itself, a flaw known to its designers but kept secret from the operators. A feature in the control rods meant that in certain conditions, attempting to shut the reactor down would instead cause a catastrophic power surge. The very button meant to save them was, in fact, the trigger for the explosion. This revelation opens the door to even darker questions. If the state was willing to cover up a fatal design flaw in its flagship nuclear program, what else were they hiding? Some whisper of clandestine military experiments using the reactor for purposes far beyond civilian power generation. Others claim the explosion wasn't just an accident covered up by pride, but a deliberate act of sabotage or a desperate attempt to conceal something far more sinister happening within the plant's walls. And then, weaving through the threads of science and state secrets is a story that defies all rational explanation, the chilling tales of the Black Bird of Chernobyl. In the days leading up to the disaster, numerous workers at the plant reported seeing a terrifying apparition. They described a massive, dark, winged creature with a humanoid body and piercing red eyes. It was said to circle the skies above Reactor 4, a silent, ominous harbinger of the doom to come. Those who claimed to have seen it were plagued by horrific nightmares and received strange, threatening phone calls. Was it simply mass hysteria, the product of minds under immense pressure in a failing system? Or was it a genuine premonition, a warning from a world beyond our own, drawn to a place on the precipice of an unimaginable catastrophe? The truth, like the radiation, still lingers in the air. In the wake of the disaster, a line was drawn on the map, a circle with a 30-kilometer radius centered on the smoldering ruins of Reactor 4. This was the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. Initially a desperate measure to contain the invisible poison spewing from the plant, it quickly became one of the most contaminated and restricted places on Earth, a militarized border against an unseen enemy. For decades its perimeter has been patrolled by armed soldiers, their grim mission not to keep people in but to keep the curious and the unwary out. Only a select few are granted passage. Scientists, clad head to toe in protective gear, venture into this radioactive landscape. They are cartographers of contamination, meticulously mapping hotspots where radiation levels remain lethally high. Their Geiger counters are a constant crackling reminder of the danger that permeates the very soil and air. but the fences have also acted as a siren's call. A subculture of explorers known as stalkers illegally navigate the zone's decaying landscape, risking severe contamination for a glimpse into a world without us. To step inside is to step back in time. In a school, textbooks lie open, abandoned mid-lesson. In a hospital, a sea of small gas masks litters the floor, a haunting relic of a failed attempt to protect the city's children. Every object tells a story of a life interrupted, of a population that fled with only what they could carry, believing they would return in just 3 days. And in humanity's absence, nature has returned with a vengeance, not timidly, but with a wild, untamed force. Packs of wolves, the zone's new apex predators, use the empty buildings as their dens. Herds of rare Przewalski's horses, a species once on the brink of extinction, now gallop freely down abandoned highways. This resurgence has created a startling paradox. The zone is a testament to our greatest technological failure, a landscape poisoned for millennia, yet it has also become a unique sanctuary, an accidental wilderness where life flourishes precisely because people are gone. Chernobyl is no longer just a disaster site, it is a living laboratory and a chilling monument, a radioactive Eden rising from the ashes. Scientists today still warn that parts of the exclusion zone will remain unsafe for thousands of years, but explorers who dare to enter speak of something beyond radiation. They talk about strange lights in the skies, voices echoing through abandoned corridors, and a feeling of being watched by something unseen. Some believe the area has become a thin veil between worlds, a gateway to the unknown. Perhaps the biggest mystery of all is the truth hidden in classified Soviet documents. Why did the government wait more than 36 hours to evacuate Pripyat? Why were so many details of the accident concealed from the world? And why do whispers persist about secret military research linked to advanced energy weapons, time experiments, and interdimensional portals? Was Chernobyl simply the result of human arrogance and flawed technology? The official story points to a safety test gone catastrophically wrong, a fatal cocktail of Soviet ambition and a flawed reactor design. But whispers persist of something more, something hidden beneath the layers of state-sanctioned fact. Was the disaster an accident, or was it the site of clandestine experiments that humanity was never meant to uncover? Today, in a phenomenon known as dark tourism, guided tours take adventurers into the forbidden city of Pripyat. Clad in protective gear, armed with dosimeters that crackle with unseen danger, they come seeking a chilling glimpse into a world frozen in time, a world abandoned in a single terrifying day. Visitors walk through crumbling schools where textbooks from 1986 lie open on desks, their lessons interrupted forever. They pass through silent hospitals where the ghosts of a frantic evacuation linger in the empty cots and scattered medical supplies, a testament to a crisis that spiraled out of control. And then they stand in the shadow of the colossal Duga radar system, nicknamed the Russian woodpecker for the incessant tapping radio signal it broadcast across the globe. This Cold War structure was shrouded in secrecy. Its official purpose was missile detection, but its immense power consumption and proximity to the nuclear plant have fueled decades of speculation. Standing before it, one cannot help but wonder, was this massive machine connected to the disaster? Some whisper it was a weather control weapon, others a tool for mass mind control. The most extreme theories suggest that on the night of the explosion, the Duga was being pushed to its absolute limit for a top-secret experiment. Did the Soviets try to harness something beyond our comprehension, forcing the reactor's operators to bypass safety protocols to feed this insatiable machine, inadvertently triggering the meltdown? Chernobyl is no longer just a place. It's a story, a mystery and a warning. It's a warning about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the catastrophic price of secrecy. It reminds us how fragile human civilization can be, how one moment of hubris can lead to centuries of consequences, poisoning the land and leaving a scar on the planet. The unknown often hides in plain sight, waiting for us to stumble upon it. As you listen to this tale, imagine the profound silence of Pripyat's streets, broken only by wind whistling through shattered glass. Imagine the abandoned laughter of its playgrounds, the rusted Ferris wheel creaking a lonely rhythm, the frantic ticking of a Geiger counter in the still, heavy air. The new safe confinement arch that now entombs Reactor 4 holds more than just radioactive material. It holds secrets. So ask yourself, what truths remain buried under the ashes of Chernobyl? What stories died with the liquidators who sacrificed everything? And as the forest reclaims the concrete, the most important question remains: are we ready for the truth if it ever comes to light?